we just witnessed a murder on national television. Sources tell me Jack Della Maddalena is stable. Please God. But in all seriousness, this fight between Carlos Prates and Jack Della Maddalena was one of the most insane performances I've ever seen from a fighter. This was like looking back at an old Anderson Silva performance against a bum, a nobody. But now it's Carlos Prates doing it against a former welterweight champion of the world. This fight was perceived as a pick'em. So it was 50-50. People were split on who was going to win. Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought that there was going to be a beatdown like this. I think that Carlos Prates does not lose on the feet to a single person in the welterweight division, and I'm so confident I'd put all of my money on that. You match him up against Morales, you match him up against Gary, you match him up against Islam. On the feet, nobody can touch this guy. There is a little bit of a discrepancy in his ground game that was kind of exposed. I mean, when Jack really was like still coherent and his brain wasn't halfway across the octagon, he took down Carlos Prates pretty easy. But oh my goodness, I need to go more in detail because my brain is still processing how crazy this was. In the first round, Carlos Prates starts working that body with the body kicks. He's beating up that lead leg. He's hitting Jack with the knees up the middle, and he's firing that straight left down the pipe every time, and it's working. But it's to the effect of, okay, Jack is still in this. Yes, he's getting beat up, but this isn't the worst thing in the world. Towards the end of the round, though, Jack puts him up against the fence and just takes him down easy. Easy as pie, dude. Like taking candy from a baby. It was a just really, really bad defensive mistake from Prates. And sure, there was short time, but you don't really like to see that from a fighter. All things considered, pretty clear Prates round. Round 2 rolls along, and oh my God. The leg kicks, I think they need to test Carlos Prates' leg kick power because that was some of the most brutal, just wind-up slams. Not even to the calf or the thigh, just straight to the knee. That was disgusting. And then once he took away JDM's mobility, he started slamming him up the middle with the knees. And we got to give Jack Della Maddalena props for his chin in this fight because I think not a single person in the world would be able to stand up from those shots besides JDM. That was insane. I was honestly like kind of worried because JDM was showing some of that like behavior you see from a fighter after they've gotten hit too many times and they're starting to like, wobble a little bit. They're not totally coherent. Like they're still fighting at their normal level, but you can just tell there's something off. And then in that third round, that was bad. That was really bad. I mean, when he kept knocking JDM down just over and over in like a 50-second time period, I thought the fight could have been stopped any one of those times. Mike Beltran gave JDM lots of chances to improve his position. He just couldn't do it. Carlos Prates is a killer. If he senses there's a finish on the table, he is taking it, and he's the biggest threat to Makhachev right now. I don't think there's a single fighter that poses the threat he does. I'm not going to go too in-depth on what that matchup would look like, but Prates really needs to focus on his takedown defense. I mean, it's an Islam fight. You always have to be ready for your takedown defense. But if he gets that together just to the point where he can get back up once around, we might be looking at a future welterweight champion, because I don't think there's a single person in the world who can withstand that power. Incredible performance from Carlos Prates. I'm very sad. I really wanted JDM to win. I thought he was going to win. Not going to switch up on my boy, though. He's going to come back. He's going to beat the winner of Buckley versus Brady. He's going to destroy them, and he's going to get back to the title. We believe in the Jack Della Maddalena redemption. Moving on to the next fight. Similar sentiments of pain. I'm a big Quillen Salkeld fan. He's probably my favorite prospect. No longer a prospect. He's a ranked fighter. But this was just bad. A bad knockout for Beneil Dariush. I mean, he stepped in and kind of wobbled or sat down Quillen with a jab. That was really slick. And then he was working on the takedown. He couldn't get it. Quillen did a really good job of staying stable on one leg. Like, Benny was attacking the single leg a lot. And Quillen was really doing a great job of keeping his back to the fence and not getting pulled off. But then when he framed off and hit him with like a three-piece and rocked him, and then when he realized he was rocked and he backed up away from the clinch, and then he just hit him with the meanest hook I've ever seen in my life, and Beneil went down immediately, it was like hard to look at. Because everyone likes Beneil Dariush. He's a great guy. He's a really fun, entertaining fighter. I mean, he showed it in this fight. He knocked down Quillen Salkeld. That was really fun. But I think it's time to, accept the reality of it. He's a little over the hill. If you're going to give this guy any more fights, don't give him any more power punchers. Do not give him Manuel Torres. Whoever made that matchup is actually a Beneil Dariush hater. That's actually disgusting, whoever made that matchup. But, yeah, incredible performance from Quillen Salkeld. Weathered the storm, got through the early adversity, stuck to his strengths, made sure he didn't engage in the grappling too long with Benny, and just knocked him out and won. Really would like to see what he does next. Called out Gamrot. Not sure how that fight goes for him. Gamrot is a little bit of a prospect killer nowadays. But I would be entertained by that fight, and I think the build-up would be funny because Gamer's kind of an underrated trash talker. But moving on to the next fight, what a performance from Steve Erceg. I mean, look at the strike differential here. He threw less than Tim Elliott, but it did not look like it. I mean, I think a lot of those strikes are inflated from the leg kicks. Tim Elliott was throwing like three-piece leg kick combinations, which was unorthodox and really fun. But Steve Erceg is a very technical boxer, and you can't play the wild game against him unless you have really great power, and Tim Elliott just doesn't have that type of power. Steve Erceg was really doing good of leaning back away from the overhand and just tagging him with the right hand on the way out, just over and over and over. And then when it got to the later rounds, he started going with the combinations, and he would mix them up. He'd go left hook to the body, and he'd go up with the uppercut, and then he'd lean back away from a strike, and he'd come back in with a jab and a cross, and it would rock Tim Elliott. Really great performance. Did a great job every time Tim Elliott shot on him of immediately getting his way to the fence. That shows a really great improvement off of the Pantoja fight. Obviously, it's not the same level, but in that fight, he had a really hard time of getting up when he had Pantoja in his guard. But yeah, Steve Erceg, really incredible performance. I think if he gets the right matchups, he could get right back up to the upper echelon of this division. I think he could probably beat Brandon Moreno in the rematch. He would have a sick fight with Brandon Royval. I think Himmler versus Loner Kavanaugh would be a great fight. But based off where he is in the ranking, he's probably going to fight someone like Alex Perez. Or he might fight down again just because, he was on that 3-fight losing streak. But, yeah, big fan of Steve Erceg. Really impressive performance. And for Tim Elliott, Crafty vet performance just didn't craft it up enough. On to the next one. This was a lamb to the slaughter type of fight. I mean, props on Ollie Schmid for taking the fight at 4-2 and making his UFC debut against a guy who just broke someone's jaw with a punch. But yeah, not really much to talk about here. Marwan Rahiki looks like a great prospect. He's at featherweight, which is wide open right now. I mean, once Volk retires, we got a whole suit of problems to figure out. Yair Rodriguez, chief among you. You bastard. You sick fuck. I hate you. But yeah, Marwan Rahiki, really great. Rocked him and then just finished him off. Great performance. On to the next fight. Wow. I mean, the contrast between the fight after this is going to be pretty ridiculous. But this fight was just a heavyweight slugfest. And that's what we like to see with the heavyweights. If you're not good, just go out there and do what these guys do. It's entertaining. You're going to get more money. I don't want to see some blob-ass decision up against the fence. I don't want to see some Taliesin Teixeira fucking gas out after 2 punches performance. Brando Pericic looked really sharp, really fast. Did kind of gas out. Shamil Gaziev showed heart. This was the worst fight for me. Because me and Shamil, we kind of have a special relationship. It's like we're 2 peas in a pod, really. So I'm really sad about that. Stats show that 100 out of his 110 total strikes were significant. I believe it. Shamil was throwing like a machine. But unfortunately, every once in a while, a machine breaks down. And Brando Pericic looks to be not the future of the heavyweight division, but someone that could usher in the future of the division. Maybe with a matchup against a Gable Steveson on International Fight Week. Who knows? But now, let's get on to one of the worst performances of all time. Probably paid by Israel to do this. What is there even to say? I'm pretty sure I picked Louis Sutherland. I definitely bet on him. I mean, there's no way in hell you can bet on Tai Tuivasa. Evidently. I mean, he gets taken down if there's a gust of wind. I mean, at one point, they were in over-under position, and Louis Sutherland literally just walked forward, and Tai Tuivasa fell over. It is time to stop with this bullshit in the heavyweight division. We need to get these guys out of here. He does not belong in a professional sport. What are we talking about? These guys get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go out there and have opportunities that people dream about. And he does that. He has an arena full of people cheering him on, and he does that. And Louis Sutherland, don't think you're off the hook either. That was one of the most shameful performances I've ever seen in my life. That was like if Khamzat Chimaev was inflated and just laid on top of him without throwing the strikes. How do you throw less strikes? Oh my God. Terrible fight. Cut both of these guys. I'm not even kidding. No, I'm not even kidding. It's not a joke. These guys are both so terrible that I think I could come off of the couch and beat these guys if I knew how to throw a jab, a leg kick, and defend a double leg. It is stupid. Stupid sport. Heavyweight sucks. It's the worst division ever made. Moving on. Cam Rouston. Really impressive performance. His ground and pound is something special. I mean, with his long frame, he can reach around the guard of Robert, I still can't say your last name. Reaches around the guard really well. Really great takedown entries. Good on the feet. His long body kicks are so nice. He's got a sick jab. Always keeping the head movement. Robert had a really good first round, actually. I mean, he would get in close. He'd do what you're supposed to do against the taller fighter. He crowded him. He ripped to the body. It was couple sequences there where it kind of looked like Rouston was getting overwhelmed, but then when he got the takedown, it kind of reversed it. But yeah, great performance from Cam Rouston. Middleweight is kind of a weird division right now, so he could definitely make a little bit of a run with it. But I think his next matchup should be Mansour Abdul Malik. Yeah, let's do that. Next fight on the card. If you can't tell, I have a little bit of a problem with fat loser Samoans who don't know how to do anything but throw hooks on my screen. He was 6-5 and is still employed by the UFC. He's now 7-5. He should still be fired by the UFC, by the way. This was just... Junior Tafa was done. His leg was destroyed. It was broken. He was not going to win this fight. And then Kevin Christian decides to just throw the fight away, turn around, and let Junior Tafa hit him in the back of the head. I mean, this might be a hot take, but has anyone ever enjoyed a light heavyweight fight or heavyweight fight that doesn't include, like, Alex Pereira? Who actually enjoys these guys? They're just fat, bloated up middleweights who don't have the self-control to cut down, and they're all so unathletic because all the athletic people go to actual high-paying sports. I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but the reason why these guys suck so much is because the UFC decides to pay him 10-10. So we have actual athletes like Myles Garrett in the NFL, when in reality, I think he could come in here and be Junior Tafa. That's a real discussion we need to have. Could Myles Garrett beat Junior Tafa in a fight? I lean 75% yes. I don't understand what the UFC sees in this guy. He's barely entertaining. He's only entertaining when you give him a can. He loses every fight. I think this is his second win out of what? 7 fights in the UFC? Just a terrible, disgusting, awful division. Get it off of national television. I hate it so much. Moving on. Yeah, GM3 got robbed. GM3 got robbed. It's just, sorry, dude. It's just the way it is. GM3 got robbed because they were in Australia. Jacob Malkoun literally does not have any instinct at all. The commentary for this fight was actually worse than listening to, like, an alpha male podcast. This was awful. GM3 also looked really bad. He's too old. It's kind of sad, but Gerald Meerschaert needs to retire. Not happy about it. Missed weight by a lot, too. So, I guess that kind of pushes the judge's decision to Jacob Malkoun. Really disappointed. Really disappointed. Next fight. Kobe Thickness. There we go, man. That's how you improve in your game. Kobe Thickness, in his last few fights, I'm going to admit, didn't look good in the striking at all. That might seem a little harsh, but it was like you took the upper half of a man and replaced his legs with toothpicks, and they didn't bend at the knees. His grappling is always sick. Really slick transitions, always looking for the finish on the ground. But in this fight, he really improved. I mean, yes, he wasn't winning on the feet, but it's nice to see that he really focused on, like, keeping his hands busy. Because in the past, they were just flying around, I guess. It was like playing with a puppet and you don't know how to use the hands, so they're just wobbling around in the air. But in this fight, he was countering well. He was using the body kicks. In the third round, he really scared me by getting rocked by Vince Morales, I think, by a right hook. So that was scary. But survivability, sick. I mean, this is just a scrappy dog, and I'd love to see him go far in the bantamweight division. Obviously, in the striking, he still needs to clean it up. But you match this guy up against lower level of this division. Maybe the guy that just lost to Ethan Ewing. Something like that. Something to that level. That would be really interesting. Big Colby Thickness fan. Had Volk in his corner. That gives him a couple points for me. Moving on. Jonathan McAuliffe clearly took this fight. Judges might be actually smoking crack. I don't know what was going on. Maybe The Rock was there and he was mad that he gave a house to a bum, so he paid the judges to give it to Temba Garimbo. But yeah, Jonathan McAuliffe clearly won this fight. I don't know what they were talking about. Jonathan McAuliffe has sick body kicks, sick head kicks. Impressive performance. Welterweight, not the easiest division, so he's going to have a rough run of it, but yeah, but nothing. There's nothing else to say. Jonathan McAuliffe looked good, but it's Temba Garimbo. Temba Garimbo sucks. Let's move on. Oh, who called it? Who called the Cody Steele win? Yes, Cody Steele might have been the favorite. Yes, most people were also picking Cody Steele. Yes, I also picked Cody Steele by decision. But that doesn't mean that my pick doesn't count. Because Cody Steele hit a sick transition from a knee bar to an inverted heel hook. And that was really impressive. He's a lightweight, hard division. If he does... Yeah, dude, I can't think of anyone for him right now. Just give him another fun fight. Either give him someone who's going to test him in the grappling or test him on the feet. Let's see how he does with that. Let's build this guy up. Fun, entertaining fighter. Great performance on the mic. Oh, also, this card had a lot of people that were really good on the mic. Colby Thickness. Wes Schultz somehow had a good performance on the mic. Carlos Prates had a good performance on the mic. Marwan Rahiki had a good performance on the mic. Steve Urseg had a great performance on the mic. Really impressive, all these guys making a name for themselves. Incredible fight night. Can't believe this was so early and I stayed up for the whole thing. I can't believe European fans do this on a weekly basis. I feel for you. But yeah, JDM, back to the drawing board, buddy. Carlos Prates to the title shot. And thank you for watching.